Miller.
Do you know you can clean your own car?
And Moulton.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. The things we're going to learn.
Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
All guests appear on the Goldberg Noon Abraham hotline. Goldberg-law.com.
Oh, I like
It's up to you now. It's up to you.
I like it.
Now, the best local sports show this town has ever heard. Here's Miller and Moulton.
You're live. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton on this first Thursday of April, or as we're calling it, March 33rd. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us. Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio. We're streaming, as every show on this station is, at foxsportsfm.com, and Miller and Moulton broadcast live on many an outlet, including the Miller and Moulton YouTube and Twitch channels. Mark, how are you on this Thursday?
I'm good. I'm good this morning. How are you? I after you heard me yesterday with the good this morning with the diet ending yesterday. I thought,
Whoa.
no, the bet ended. I mean, the bet was over, and I thought about what you said yesterday. I took it into account.
Right. You were close to an all-time goal here.
Yeah, I mean, I can still get there. I mean, it's just a one-day setback. But as the day was going on, and it was a great day of teaching, great day of learning, and it was snack time. And I asked the daughter if she wanted an Oreo. And you know what? I had one with her.
Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with an Oreo.
Right. And then I said, is an Oreo actually better than a Thin Mint? Let's compare. And so my daughter had a Thin Mint. I had the rest of the sleeve. Then I ordered
So
two
you
pizzas.
each had one.
Right. One sleeve, one cookie.
Wait. So after the sleeve of Thin Mints, you said, well, that was just snack. That was the middle of the day. Wife deserves a little something for the effort when she comes home.
Right.
How about a pizza?
Well,
and then, you know what? There's three of us. How about two?
Correct. And I thought, because around 3:30, I saw that Governor DeSantis had issued the stay-at-home order. And I didn't really know, and I don't think any of us knew initially what all that entailed. And I'm like, well, they're going to close the restaurants, period. If the stay-at-home means no more to go.
Come
and
on.
that meant order two pizzas because I wanted pizza. And
Right.
I called my buddy Grandpa, and he's shut down. He's closed. So I'm like, all right. Then I went to my backup, Marcella's, which is the one I go to all the time that's close. I'll drive all the way now to Bonita to get a pie. And when I was in there picking up my pizzas, he even said, there's a couple people in there picking up to go, and talked to the owner briefly, and he said, I don't know. He goes, I'm thinking about shutting down because basically the stimulus stuff will give you 8 weeks. And what some of these people are making is far less than what they would if they just shut their doors and tried to get the stimulus money that's there. So these restaurants are facing decisions right now that are very uncomfortable for them. But that, he just kind of matter-of-factly said while we were there, he goes, I don't know, I think I'm probably going to shut the doors. I mean, it's still March and April. This is go time for everyone down here, and it has been stopped.
Absolutely. It's not Easter yet. So, oftentimes people make their plans and they stay through Easter. And since Easter's late this year, people were likely going to stay a little later than other years. So I get it. And, we've stayed away from the politics and what have you. But from a business standpoint, because there are stipulations tied to this stimulus bill, you get the money, but you got to keep 90% of your staff on the payroll in order to have the loan become a grant, in which it's basically, here you go. If you don't keep 90%, it's a loan that you've got to pay back. So businesses have decisions to make. They got to do the math.
And that's
And also,
just
quite frankly, now, first off, you can't sign up for it because apparently the website has crashed for days now, and nobody in Florida can sign up for unemployment.
well, that's the unemployment. The SBA loans are so you can still get to those.
No, I know. It's a different issue, but people have a decision to make also, because right now for a short time, the unemployment's actually a decent buck. And some cases you can make more by not working for a very short time, but you can make more by not working.
Can we do that?
No, absolutely not. Mm-mm.
You sure?
Absolutely.
You checked with our accountant?
Well, you know what? Maybe we'll.
You're damn right we will. I don't know
we'll have
about
to
you,
talk
but if I
about it
can
during
get
the
paid
commercial
more
break.
to not work, I'm up for it.
Yeah, actually, we probably could. Here's the problem, though. You can't get on the website to sign up for unemployment. People have been trying for days, unfortunately, in the state of Florida. It's not often that we recycle poll questions, but I have found myself about every 48 to 72 hours wanting to re-ask a common theme.
Where's Brady going to play?
Something having to do with the draft? No. But,
Sorry, I can't help it.
but with everything that is not going on in the sports world, when events that are planned for late June, early, mid, late July are getting canceled, not postponed, canceled. And it was made official yesterday, and it will be made official later today. Mark, for the first time since the final year of World War II, we will not have a Wimbledon, and we will not have a British Open. 75 years we have had Wimbledons and U.S. Opens, and the only thing, or British Opens, excuse me, and the only thing that has stopped them from occurring was a world war. But this worldwide pandemic is going to claim the 2020 Wimbledon, already has, and later today it will be made official, according to Golf Digest, it will claim the 2020 Open Championship.
I am stunned at the cancellation versus postponement. I truly am, David. That they have just
one or both.
Both.
Okay.
Of
well,
both.
I didn't know if you thought, because like I found interesting, I was at first very surprised about Wimbledon, thinking to myself, well, the French Open's moved it back to late September. Why can't we push this sucker back? And they talked about, well, a lot less daylight. Okay. All right. I get it. But come on now. I mean, you could start your day a little earlier. Instead of starting at 2 in the afternoon like you guys do, you could start at 11 a.m., make up for it that way. So, but then they talked about, believe it or not, the dew. And part of the reason that the tournament's played when it is that you go a little earlier or you go a little later. Quite frankly, the grass is a lot wetter, and it's not safe to play on the grass. A couple months later, I went, okay. Well, this isn't clay. This isn't hard court. All right. You only got 2 of the courts covered.
We've all walked out into a little morning dew before, so we get that. I understand.
Okay.
So, all right, but then let's move on to the Open Championship.
Here we go, which is even later than Wimbledon. I mean,
it's a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
I tell you, the one thing it does show me, at least hints to me, David, is that either they're far more fearful or they're far more informed.
Or, cautious. I was very surprised about the Open Championship also because we've talked about it. We think golf is a quote-unquote safer sport in this than tennis even. The one thing I do believe you have to be concerned about in tennis is the ball itself. And I thought that they were going to have to make a rule change, Mark, and maybe they will even for whenever it is we have tennis this year, if we do, is that each player may get their own balls of which they serve with. Instead of here are the 6 or 7 balls that are going to be in play for 6 service games. Here are your balls to serve with. Here are your balls to serve with. Maybe for the set. Here are your first set tennis balls. You use these. You use these. When the first set's over, put them in the thing. Okay, now here you go. You get new balls to serve with. You get new balls to serve with. I'm wondering if, because you could in theory get it. It gets on the ball, and
Yep.
obviously you could then transfer it.
No, there's no doubt.
Where in golf, obviously, everybody plays their own golf ball.
Correct.
So I thought that golf is even a safer sport from a distancing standpoint in the sport itself than tennis.
Agree 100%. Now, I will say I'm sure with the Open Championship, the light is a similar problem because they play golf for, my goodness, 16 hours a day, basically.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you couldn't shrink the field a little bit. I mean, you couldn't knock 156 down to $144. I mean, I'm surprised.
I'm very surprised. And you couldn't just push it to August? I mean,
Right.
They couldn't have gone first. That was what I did think it was interesting that the French Open and, the PGA kind of already tried to claim the Olympics, although they hadn't put it in stone yet. At least it seemed that the golf world was talking to one another, saying, how can we organize this to get all of them in?
Now, the PGA is scheduled for the San Francisco area. The U.S. Open is scheduled for 30 miles northeast of New York City at Wingfoot. Don't know if location's going to play a role here, like the NBA is apparently debating, baseball is debating, all right, if we're starting later than even we thought, the NBA is talking about, are we going to have to find 1 or 2 central locations and send everybody to a certain place? Like they're talking Vegas. Can you go in August? Can you just be in Vegas? And instead of doing what they do with Summer League, can you do it with, say, 16 NBA playoff teams? Commandeer a couple of hotels. You've got the 1 or 2 arenas, and then you do your thing. You commandeer it. I mean, they're kicking around all sorts of scenarios. A baseball trial balloon that got thrown out yesterday, which Seth Everett was making his appearances on shows around the country, and he was just trashing it, was a 90 to 100 game season. It starts later, and it goes later. It goes to almost Thanksgiving, and a World Series at a neutral location, and they pick Dodger Stadium. And Seth thinks it's one of the more stupid things he's ever heard. Well, okay, I don't know. I mean, it could be that, or we don't have a season.
Well, you know what's funny? I disagree with Seth wholeheartedly on the neutral site for the World Series. It's something that's been bantered about for years. Now, it's never gotten a lot of steam, but baseball has wondered for quite a while when the Super Bowl site and the Super Bowl became such an event, baseball looked at it and said, is there something we can take from that? Is there a way to put our World Series and have it bid upon? And it usually ends up dying. But this is not the first time that they've brought up a neutral site for a World Series.
And I'm sure baseball's also looking at Final Four and going, well, they can play 3 games over the course of 48 plus hours in one central location. It seems to work. Why can't we do something like that? I think because it's best of 7 is why it wouldn't work, but that's just me.
But I think a lot of us in a certain city where we could get tickets to it, you could actually, then it seems like a World Series ticket might not be that hard to get. And for a one-time thing, it would be really special.
Well, and you could see where the World Series could then be in Florida. I mean, why couldn't it be Miami, Tampa, Orlando, wherever the case may be?
Well, it couldn't be in
They don't have a
Tampa because they
stadium
don't
in
have a stadium, but Miami would be a great spot.
Well, and Marlins Park now is also, it's intimate. Now, it's only about 35,000 seats, but then again, that may give you a better chance of selling it out. And if you had to have it in an event, plus it's got a roof. So, but the question, which has been out there now for a little over a week, I think it was a week ago today that Kirk Herbstreit did his interview, in which he was asked about the upcoming football season, and he said, "Yeah, I don't think we're going to have one. Because to me, you can't do this unless you've got a vaccine, and they say they're not going to have a vaccine until 2021, so I don't think we're going to have a football season." And most people disagreed with him. I disagreed with him. I still disagree with him. But when you see what is happening here in the sports world, I mean, Wimbledon and the British Open canceled, not postponed, canceled, does make you wonder. I mean, the Indy 500 moved till August 23rd. Did they give themselves enough time? The Kentucky Derby has moved themselves to the Saturday of Labor Day weekend, September 5th. At first, when these events rescheduled, we were like, oh, well, they're giving themselves plenty of time. Okay. We think.
The only event that gave itself plenty of time is the Olympics.
Right.
They gave a year.
They did.
That's plenty. Right now, that's plenty of time. Anything else, David? It's a crapshoot.
Even the NFL, which is full speed ahead on everything, they haven't altered a thing. They have pushed back about a month their schedule release date. You wonder if the NFL is thinking of, are we going to have to push back the start of our season? Should we play it safe? Because, Mark, do you think the owners are willing to give up their preseason games?
Yes.
That's a very serious question.
Yes.
You think the owners are willing to give up their 2 preseason games?
Well, I'm sorry. Willing or will
Well, it doesn't matter if it's willing or not.
they?
Okay, because I'm wondering if that's what they're debating right now.
I think it is.
Okay,
I know it
it's,
is.
That it's not the regular season. To me, the regular season schedule's done. It's been done. All right, but what they're debating right now, I believe, behind closed doors are, hey, guys, we are not going to be able to, this whole bringing them in late July thing, the whole Hall of Fame weekend, the Hall of Fame game, and then these preseason games are, I don't know about
By
this.
the way, what was the Hall of Fame game this year? Pittsburgh and
Wasn't Pittsburgh and Dallas, was it?
yeah. Yeah,
that
it
the Hall of
was.
Fame game?
Yeah, it was.
So, I wonder if that's what the NFL is considering. And if the NFL may be thinking, maybe we just need to push everything back 2 to 4 weeks to make sure we're in the clear here.
You know what? You're onto something, David, because even if they want a 2-week preseason, even if they want 0 preseason, they probably need to make mention of the Hall of Fame more quickly than anything else. I mean, think about it. It's always a big deal with inductions, but when you're putting the Steelers and Cowboys in the game,
Well, and remember, this is
the
huge
20,
class.
right.
This is the big class.
Right.
One time only 20 people go. And
In a
that's
weekend
what
of
I
inductions,
wonder.
I think, because they're not doing them all on the same day. It's a really big celebration.
If you're the NFL here, just throwing stuff out there, do you do away with preseason games, but you want to keep Hall of Fame weekend? Does Labor Day weekend become Hall of Fame weekend?
And everybody
There's
gets one preseason game?
No. I'm even thinking no preseason games. I mean, hey, come on. College football does it without preseason.
No, I know.
The NFL could do it. But the owners have to be willing to give up the money. I mean, it's 20% of their ticket revenue. Are they willing to give it up? In the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money. It's not.
But
are they willing to give it up?
And it's not precedent. The owners can sit there and say this is a one-time thing, and everybody wants to see preseason football disappear, which next year, one game will. This is the last year for preseason games.
Correct. Boy, it'd be great if we had none. Let's throw that trial balloon out there, see if it works. Miller and Moulton. on this second day of April. I have to admit, Mark, it hit me yesterday. I got a text from a buddy of mine who was like, hey, we would have been doing this on this day. And I had put together a little weekend coming up this weekend. My wife's got a noteworthy birthday on Saturday. It's a big number, that type of deal.
Yeah, I know. I know the number.
Right.
I
And
just
we were
hit it
going to
myself.
Vegas. Right. We were going to Vegas.
Yeah.
Flying out today. Seeing Seinfeld tomorrow. Partying hard on the Strip.
Wow, up till
started-
9, 10 o'clock at night. Starbucks
Yeah, well,
twice.
at 9:30 Vegas time, Mark.
Right.
I mean, whoo-wee. Yeah, we were going to go at it hard. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were even going to gamble a little bit. Right. So now, of course, what do you do if you have a big birthday celebration?
I've
I mean,
seen,
what are the options?
well, and particularly for adults. I mean, I've seen some cool things. A neighbor girl turned 7 2 weeks ago, and we have a neighborhood Facebook page, and the mom just went on there and said, hey, it's Mia's birthday. When everybody's out walking today, I've left a bunch of chalk at our driveway. Could you leave her a birthday message? And that was, a bunch of people did it. I thought that was really a nice little thing to do for her daughter. They're only 4 doors down, so I walked by with a dog and said happy birthday. I thought that was cute. I saw a thing online, I believe it was in Ireland, where a girl's parents, they kind of let her out to the driveway to shoot hoop and had all of her friends driving by and beeping and waving. But for an adult,
Right.
you got nothing.
And it's a big one, too.
Nothing.
I mean, this was going to be a big celebration.
No, I know. And I mean, my Aunt Renee just had a birthday the other day. I sent her a mask. That was her present for me. She couldn't find a mask. My wife has access to one. I got her a mask. We sent her a mask. She was elated. Who knew that a 61st birthday present of a mask could be so good?
Boy,
That's
wait
it.
to see what you do for 62.
I'm a hell of a godson.
So I'm willing to take suggestions. 479-5551, 479-5551, or in the Twitch chat room. What do I do for my wife who's turning the big 50 on Saturday? I mean, Mark, this is the state of things right now. She's very excited because what's one of the quote unquote perks of turning the big 50?
You get to join.
She's gotten in the mail.
She's already joined AARP, hasn't she?
She is so excited. She is so excited. She's been yelling at me for over 4 years because I haven't signed up.
You got to pay.
Too young. I'm too young.
Well, first off, you got to pay. What do I want to
I'm
pay
just
for that
kidding.
for? So I can get a 10% discount somewhere? Ah.
I just feel as if I'm too young. So, but she's like, we could have been getting all these discounts, all these coupons. Like, I care about that stuff. So I feel as if, hey, I'm just contributing to the economy. That's my role. But she's very excited. Yep. That's what it's been reduced to, Mark. Discounts and coupons.
I've got my buddy over at the Kart Pros who's a golf cart guy. Do you want me to have him bring my cart over to your house Saturday if he'll pick it up on the trailer and Julie can drive around in the golf
Yes.
cart for her birthday?
that
That's the
would
only
be-
suggestion I have right now is to get my golf cart over to your house for the weekend.
That would be probably the best thing that I could do. For a day, here's your personalized golf cart. Because once that
Will
happens,
she drive it
I'm
around the
really
neighborhood on her
not-
birthday?
She would. Yes,
I'll get
she
it
would.
disinfected. I'll clean the heck out of it.
She would be so stoked. Yes.
I'll put, we'll get a playlist. She can hook the music up and play Bon Jovi, get her hair spiked up, do whatever she wants to do.
Oh, my goodness. It might be better than Vegas. Who knew? Riding around the neighborhood in a golf cart listening to Bon Jovi with big 80s hair. Well, there you go.
Happy
Pretty
birthday.
much sums up life in middle-aged America right there. Miller and Moulton on this first Thursday of April, or we feel April has declined their option and it's March 33rd. here on Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio, streaming at
coronavirus has changed our lives.
foxsportsfm.com.
COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
Who would have ever thought we'd see a day when sports would stop?
It's not about your brackets or who's going to win March Madness. It's sort of about getting through this.
Fox Sports Radio will continue to keep you informed on all the latest coronavirus information through our partners at Wink News.
The number of cases of coronavirus in the state.
And for the latest in our ever-changing sports world,
It looks as if the Olympics are going to be postponed.
count on Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
For those of you still having to get out there, Napa Auto Parts, Napa Auto Care Centers, and Napa Online are ready to help. That's Napa Know-How.
We're on the phone with our good friend Tim Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples. TJ, we hear you've added several new colors of Cortec to your great lineup of products at the store.
All right, we need a poll question. We could go preseason, but I think everybody believes, because we've got a great text here. Think about this. If it takes us 2 to 3 months to get to the apex of the virus, I can only think it will take us 2 to 3 months to get to a level where we can attend an event. You're on mute.
Well, who says it's going to take 2 to 3 months to get to an apex? I mean, New York City thinks they're getting to an apex this month. Florida thinks they're getting to an apex by first or second week of May.
David, then it's not going to get to an apex in 2 or 3 months. I don't think I think there's a lot of areas where it hasn't hit yet. That's kind of the point. I mean, if it keeps going, when's Michigan going to hit their apex? When's Idaho going to hit their apex? Because it's some of the, that's the question. So if it's on.
Did you see Idaho had an earthquake Tuesday?
I did not.
6.5 earthquake just north of Boise.
Wow. All right. So what do you want for a poll question?
I don't know. What are you thinking? And where's Cam going to end up? Where's Jameis going to end up? Or do we want to stay away from those? We still got time.
Donnie Wilkie tweeted out yesterday, if now or December, we'd be playing the City of Palms on NBA 2K.
You want to ask about NBA, NHL? Or do you want to stay away from it? What do you think?
I don't mind that at all, David. I don't mind the NBA.
Now back to Miller and Moulton. No. This is Miller and Moulton.
You're live.
6:30. Straight up. Thanks for being with us. Miller and Moulton, Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio, streaming at foxsportsfm.com, broadcasting live many a place, including the Miller and Moulton YouTube and Twitch channels. Andrew Marchand coming up an hour from now. He's not so much a media critic. He's a media reporter and columnist with the New York Post. Mo Egger will join us in our 8 o'clock hour to, well, talk about the Bengals. Yesterday we talked about the Dolphins potentially trading up to get Joe Burrow. Well, we'll talk about it from the Bengals' point of view and whether or not they would be inclined to do it.
So we
And
have a
Brett
draft.
McCormick.
We have a draft
Sorry,
3
Mark.
weeks from today.
Yeah.
I am really, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Every day when the British Open's canceled, and sorry, I know you had to get to the last guess. It's just, the Mo Egger thing just got me thinking. It's 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks.
3 weeks today. Yeah, absolutely.
And yesterday it was, 3 weeks from tomorrow. And in the 24 hours, Wimbledon and the British Open were canceled.
Yeah, pretty much. Wimbledon officially and the Open Championship, an announcement expected momentarily. Yeah, before the show's up anyway.
Okay. Just making sure I got this right.
Adam Schefter kind of went on a little rant yesterday.
Yes, he did.
In which he said, I can't believe we're doing this. He goes, I know I'm not supposed to bite the hand that feeds me, but what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we doing this? I really believe, Mark, it's because Goodell is thinking, well, if I postpone it, when do you want me to postpone it to? If I'm postponing it because of the coronavirus and because teams can't fly around and watch guys work out and teams can't go and give guys medicals and guys can't fly in for visits to organizations and what have you, well, when do you think that's going to be? So and I don't think Goodell wants a truncated off season, if you know what I mean, where July, August, we start opening up, and he's got a lot of business he's still got to do, including the draft. What I think he wants is he wants to get the draft done. Teams to have their 90 guys that they're bringing to camp, and then we can sit tight as a league. We can sit tight for May, June, and July. We can just chill out.
To your point, David, what did they do yesterday? They announced they were going to delay the schedules, and that's how we open the show. That may be a Hall of Fame weekend. It may be preseason. It may be what Kirk Herbstreit talked about, and they may have to delay the start of the season. But I think your point is dead on. If you don't have the draft April the 23rd, when are you going to have it?
Right.
Wimbledon was just canceled. That is in late June, July. The British Open is going to be canceled. That is in mid to late July.
The second week of July this year, it's a touch earlier than normal because they were making room for the Olympics, which, of course, is canceled.
But it was 16th to the 19th was the British Open dates. So they have made the determination to cancel both of those.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball is nowhere closer to a start date. The NBA and the NHL have no idea if they are going to complete their seasons. And with every day that passes, there are more people that cover those sports that believe the season will not be finished in any way, shape, or form. So back to David's original question. If you postpone the draft, when the hell are you going to do it when you could do it the way you normally do with the lead time you normally have? That's the other part. Think about what Pat has been saying on our show for 2 weeks now of the money, the time, and effort that goes in to researching these players from a private investigator standpoint to interviewing old coaches. Well, if they have the draft in August, will they have ample time to perform all of these things? We don't know. So I think you're right, David. Goodell is, why not do it? Get every team set with what their rosters are. Let them sign the undrafted free agents. Let them sign whatever other free agents are out there. So whenever we decide to open camp, July, mid-August, late August, you know what your roster is heading into that camp for however long training camp is.
Exactly. Hit the ground running. That's what Goodell is thinking. Hey, because we may have to put this whole operation on hiatus for 4 months, but whenever it is we decide we're going forward, we can go forward, and we don't have to take care of this thing called the draft. And now it's time for
the Starting Five. 5 big stories that you need to know. This is Miller and Moulton Starting 5. Fox Sports Radio and FoxSportsFM.com.
Well, as Mark just mentioned, Wimbledon made it official midday yesterday. The R&A is going to make it official in a little bit. Wimbledon canceled, not postponed, canceled. No Wimbledon in 2020. Roger Federer sent out a tweet that simply said, devastated. Because you have to wonder, Roger Federer going to be playing tennis in 2021? He will now. Because I think he wants to play at least one more Wimbledon, because he's got a real chance to win there. And no British Open. First time that both of these events have been canceled since the final year of World War II, 1945. Mark, what is interesting about the Open Championship is that they have been making a big deal for a while. Next year's Open Championship, St. Andrews, because it was going to be the 150th Open Championship. Well, now obviously it will not. It will be the 149th. And so there's some wonder, will they just push everybody back a year? Because they've already got 2021, 22, 23 already scheduled, and that obviously they want to have their 150th at St. Andrews. So will they, in fact, push everybody's sights back a year? R&A yet to make their announcement, expected in a couple of hours. Did you see what the Dallas Cowboys did yesterday? This, to me, is remarkable. Do you remember Aldon Smith?
Yeah.
San Francisco 49er. Yeah, good player. Troubled.
Very
to
troubled.
say the least. Very troubled. Yeah. Got into troubles with the law and also likes his drugs. Right. Aldon Smith has not played in the NFL since 2015. That's a long time ago. This isn't a 1-year hiatus. This isn't a 2-year hiatus. 2015. He's 30. He signed a 1-year, $4 million contract with the Cowboys yesterday. 1 year, $4 million. He was the 7th overall pick of the draft back in 2011. I mean, Mark, this guy's almost a sack-a-game guy in his career. He's only played 59 career games. He's got 47.5 sacks. I mean, this guy's one of those, he plays 16 games. He's 12-plus sacks a season. But this is Jera. And what do we know about Jera? Remember, you go back, he traded for Rolando McClain when Rolando McClain had his issues. We all know Greg Hardy. Hell, he's still giving Randy Gregory a 7th, 8th, 9th chance. Randy Gregory and Aldon Smith now, Mark, are on the same roster. Jerry loves his pass rushers. If you can rush the passer and you've got issues, Jerry will overlook them. I mean, you can even go back with Tank Johnson, Pac-Man. I mean,
it doesn't. No. Since he's been there, he's brought in anybody that he could bring in if he thinks they can help him get to the Lombardi Trophy. That's all he cares about. He does not care what you have done in the past. Does not give two blanks.
Which really makes you then wonder, well, is AB next? I mean, honestly.
Why wouldn't he be? Gordon, AB, why? Why not?
Now,
you can question Jerry Jones all you want for doing it, but if he brings anyone else, you can't sit there and put the, oh my God, I can't. Yeah, you can believe he did it. He's been doing it for a decade or more.
Now, Aldon Smith, part of the reason why people feel this happened, besides the fact that Jerry is open to second and third chances, is Aldon Smith played for the Niners back in the day, Jim Harbaugh. And then who took over for Jim Harbaugh? Wasn't it Jim Tomsula for a short time?
Yes.
Yeah. You know who's the new defensive line coach for the Dallas Cowboys? Jim Tomsula. So Aldon Smith being given a chance. He has not played in a game since he was suspended in 2015. He still hasn't been reinstated by the NFL.
It's a hell of a suspension.
It is. It is. But remember, you have to apply for reinstatement. And I guess he didn't do the paperwork.
Couldn't find a pen.
So I just thought that was interesting. Speaking of AB, he's working out with Lamar Jackson. Two of them been working out for days now. So I wonder if that's where he's going to end up. They had a pretty good season last year. Very disappointing playoff, but a pretty good season.
Wasn't his cousin there? AB's cousin, isn't that the one they drafted? Isn't Hollywood Brown there? On the outside, he got all those catches against the Dolphins.
Yep. And remember a couple days ago, I told you about Eric Reed.
Yeah, this lawsuit.
That the CBA had basically been altered. That the one that they voted on and the language that was in it concerning former players who have been disabled and their benefits, and that it's been altered and not to the player's benefit. And the NFLPA says that Eric Reed's claims are, quote, completely false. And UFC 249, Mark, is apparently still going on. It's a little over 2 weeks from now. They don't have a location, though. They've had one of their co-title fighters is now in quarantine, so they're having to find fighters to make the card. And right now, they can't find a place where to hold it.
Really? You mean when there's a worldwide pandemic going on, they can't find a venue to hold a UFC fighting match where players are going to spit on one another at very close proximity? Wow.
That's true.
Wow. I can't believe it.
Boy,
I'm shocked.
When you put it that way, it sounds like a bad idea.
It sounds like a stupid idea. Almost as dumb as WrestleMania going on.
Well, there you go. At least WrestleMania is going on without fans. And it's going on, on the WWE's property in Orlando there?
I guess.
That's where they're having it. But
yeah, where they have their part-time employees, or I'm sorry, their 1099 employees come in, and their non-employees come in. Their contracted, whatever it is, come in and do it.
This is interesting. And, 479-5551, 479-5551, between wrestling fans and UFC fans. All right, you bothered at all by the fact that UFC is still trying to keep on keeping on, and quite frankly, wrestling fans? I mean, it's going to be WrestleMania with no fans?
Wrestling fans, let me ask you just a really serious question. Are you more bothered by the fact that WrestleMania is happening, or the fact that you can't get tickets for it? Because I doubt WrestleMania fans doing a lot of quarantining.
Oh, no, come on now.
At least I think wrestling fans against any stay-at-home orders.
We're supposed to be in Tampa, too.
Yeah.
All right. I think there are a few people that we know who
trust me, I know. Scares me every day. These are people that teach our children.
The starting five big stories that you need to know. This is Miller and Moulton's Starting Five. Fox Sports Radio and FoxSportsFM.com.
And not Jim either. I thought it was Jim.
At 15 minutes before 7 o'clock. Hey, Mark, there's a lot of people teaching our children nowadays. All right? Got a lot more teachers right now.
We were busy yesterday, David.
Wonder how everybody's doing this week. You guys holding up okay?
You know who's really bummed out? And I get a feeling on this, and I didn't. You realize it, but you don't know. Yesterday, I had to text my daughter's teacher a couple times. I had a couple of questions, so I have her number, and I shot her a quick text, and we went back and forth, and she just said, she goes, Maddie's so great. She goes, give her a hug for me. So I did a selfie where I just was her face, and I took the picture and sent it, and just her response. These teachers of like kindergarten and first and second grade, mentally, I wonder how they're doing, because everybody's built differently. You and I couldn't teach elementary school. We don't have we don't have the patience. We don't have it to do that. But those that do it, and you see them, they're just really nice, warm people. I think it's got to be driving them nuts not to be around those kids every day.
I agree.
I mean, that's they live for that. That's what they do.
Sure. That's their juice. Absolutely. Well, it's certainly not the money. We know that. It's not the money, and it's not the perks. That's for sure. Nor the school supplies. Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for listening. Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
This is a special coronavirus update from Wink News.
I'm Therese O'Shea with Wink News. Starting tonight at midnight, a safer at-home order for the state of Florida. The governor handed down the executive order directing Floridians to limit movement and interactions outside the home
NBA?
only for essential services. That includes grocery shopping, doctor visits, and more. The order will last 30 days. Across Southwest Florida, 43 new cases of the virus in the last day. That's actually fewer cases over a 24-hour period than the day before.
You want to do NBA/NHL?
Statewide from Tuesday to Wednesday.
Then that gives us multiple answers.
Cause of death in the U.S. behind heart disease
on bold,
and cancer.
no on
More
bold.
than 5,000 Americans have died, and the White House estimates it will kill more
yes,
Americans
NBA,
this
no
year
NHL,
than World War
yes,
I.
NHL,
For updates
no
on
NBA.
coronavirus, trust Wink News, facts, not fear.
Do the NBA and NHL complete their seasons?
During these challenging times, Dr. Jonathan France wants both current and future patients of France Eye Care to know that
Will the NBA/NHL finish their seasons?
To speak with one of our team members, call 418-0999 or dial ** 2020 from your cell. If you have an emergency, please call 911. France Eye Care,
So you can
which
go
is
yes,
the very best of health in the days
no,
ahead.
NBA will, NHL will.
This election season, there's only one candidate with a spotless resume and impeccable service
I don't think
record.
we're going to have NHL.
Brooks Gourmet Burgers and Dogs is the obvious choice. Voted #2 in the nation by TripAdvisor, Brooks Gourmet Burgers and Dogs does it right. Owner Todd Brooks and his staff are committed to providing the best burger experience and superior customer service. With favorites like the Donut Burger, which is a handcrafted burger between 2 glazed donuts and topped with American cheese and bacon, Brooks Gourmet Burgers and Dogs are truly building the dream one burger at a time. 4 locations: downtown Naples, Vanderbilt Beach and 41, on the East Trail at 951.
I just put
and
yes to
41,
both,
and
no
their
to
newest
both,
location
yes
in
to
Logan
NBA
Lanes
only,
on Immokalee
yes
Road
to
in North
NHL
Naples.
only.
See why Brooks Gourmet Burgers and Dogs deserves
That works,
your
right?
vote today. Online at brooksburgers.com. Brooks Gourmet Burgers and Dogs, building the dream one burger at a time.
Seasons? Is that apostrophe S on that one?
103.3 Cape Coral.
I wasn't sure, David. I'm a grammatical idiot for those of you watching on Twitch right now. I'm a terrible speller and I'm terrible at grammar.
Our service and parts departments are open for business.
I know my
Now's a
problems.
great time to bring your vehicle in for service.
Well,
at Galliana Chrysler Dodge,
let's be honest, I know a couple of them.
Over 1,100 Chrysler
There's still a
Dodges,
few
Jeeps,
out
and
there
Rams
that
in stock.
we're trying to
Ram
figure out.
1500 Tradesmen. Now just $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month, and you own it with interest-free financing for 80.
So I had to go to 3 stores yesterday to do a little, just to get the shopping done for the week. Publix for a couple of things, Costco for a couple of things, and then I had to go to Target because something that Eve wanted I couldn't find at either store. When I was in Target, everywhere else people were just doing their thing. They're basically by themselves shopping. Target, there were so many college students in there just hanging out, like 2 and 3 in groups, getting makeup, and I'm just like, wow, it doesn't look, it just, I don't know. Still didn't seem like enough people get it around here, David.
We're on the phone with our good friend Tim Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples. TJ, we hear you've added several new colors of Cortec to your great lineup of products at the store.
Mark, how could
Tell us
that?
more about that.
I mean,
we just ordered 5 new colors.
you know,
of
we
Core
follow
Tech
our
out of
leaders.
Stock, all
I
nice,
mean-
light, beautiful colors for Southwest Florida. That'll bring our total of 55 colors of Core Tech in stock every day for purchase and take home.
And it's not just the many colors of Core-Tech that you have. You also have other Core-Tech products as well.
We also carry the Core Tech Stone product. Looks like tile, looks like stone, but it's Core Tech, so you get the softness, quietness, and the easy installation to go with it. We also have Core Tech Wood, look of wood, real wood, but with a more stable core for Southwest Florida's humidity.
If you
Did you
haven't been
watch
before, my
Larry
shows,
David's
you really owe it to yourself to visit
PSA?
the 6281 Naples
No.
Boulevard.
It's
right
just
next to
it's
Costco,
just very
or go
much him.
online.
Because you're going to affect old people, not
That's
me, because I'm not going to see it.
fourmicers.com.
Did you see Samuel L. Jackson's?
Back to Miller and Moulton.
Just stay.
This is Miller and Moulton.
You're live.
Nine minutes before 7 o'clock, top of the morning to you. How the heck are you? How you holding up? 3 weeks ago today, the sports world shut down. It was 3 weeks ago yesterday. The NBA suspended their season. It was 3 weeks ago today. How long does those 3 weeks seem to you, Mark? See, now you've started teaching. You know, I mean, you were, like hanging out on a raft for a couple of weeks. You know, it was glorious for you. You know, now you're teaching a little bit.
David, I am being 100% serious when I say this. You know my history. My son, I got divorced the first time when my son was pretty little. I missed out on far more crap than a dad should be allowed to miss out on. And
So
a lot of
you're
it wasn't
soaking
a
this
lot of it wasn't my doing. It really wasn't. People can believe what they want, but those are facts. I am eating this up every second. I'm going to get to spend the entire summer, every damn day with my daughter. It's not good, it's great. And I'm not joking when I say that. I am loving every single minute of this.
Cool. That's great to hear.
So
That's awesome.
this seems every day, and this has been a blessing for me. I hate what's going on, but I'm not trying to be a jerk and be Mr. Positive. This has been an unusual blessing for me that I'm getting to do this with my daughter.
Wait, did you say? That's a window into your soul right there. You just said, quote, "I'm not trying to be a jerk, being Mr. Positive."
Well, yeah, because people know my attitude, and if I sit there and do that, and they think I'm not being a phony,
I know,
and I know what's going on
now.
right now just sucks a big one. I get it, but
Come on now, that was funny.
It was. I am for the first time in my life looking at something glass half full. This is not normal for me.
Oh, that's great to hear. It really is. And for others, the 3 weeks feels like 3 months.
Yeah. So I feel sorry for the teachers. I feel awful for all the people that are being affected financially. I'm one of them. We're all in this. We are actually all in this together. This is different than in Irma, where, you know what, if you've got money in Irma, you don't have to go to a shelter. You can go to the Ritz-Carlton, or you can go to the Holiday Inn. You can avoid things with money during big storms and other situations. Money doesn't get you away from this. This affects everybody for the most part equally. The rich people are getting killed with their 401ks. People are losing jobs. Rich people are having to lay off all kinds of employees. I mean, this sucks. There's not one good thing about this, except for in the fact that I'm getting to spend an immense amount of time with my daughter. So I'm eating that up.
And I'm sure there are others also eating up their family time. As I have said, I travel a lot. Wife and I don't see one another a lot, and haven't for years. Now, we did wonder whether or not all this quality time was maybe going to put a strain on things. I think it's working out fine. I don't know if she feels that way, but I think things are working out fine. How's our poll question working
We
out?
finally got one up. Took a little bit this morning, but we're asking you, will the NBA and the NHL finish their seasons? Yes to both is one answer. No to both is another. Yes to the NBA only, and yes to the NHL only. Early voting, no to both, very strong.
I do not think we will have another hockey game. I don't. I think the NBA is hell-bent on doing something. I mean, you've had owners come out in the last 24 and 48 hours that are like, oh, yeah, we're playing. We're doing something. Even if we have to bring everybody together, test everybody, and essentially self-quarantine the league in 1 or 2 hotels and 1 or 2 buildings. We are going to figure out a way to put an end to this season. Okay. Good luck. I'm all for it. I think people would eat it up. I think they'd watch in droves.
Oh,
but
I can't even imagine what the number the draft is going to do.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't even fathom what a draft is going to do. Final episode of MASH is in trouble, if you know what I mean, David.
Well, I don't know if we can do that anymore, but I know the point you're making. I'm going to vote NBA only. I'm going to take them at their word that they're hell bent, that they can figure out a place, and who knows? Maybe they only invite 8 teams to their playoffs, 4 from each.
1
league,
minute.
and they say to the others, tough. I mean, maybe they'll do something exotic here, but I'm going to lean towards the NBA is going to figure out a way to finish their season, but the NHL is done.
I think you're right, David. If I were to vote, I would vote the same way that you are, or no to both. But as your point about the NBA owners keep saying we're going to do something, have you heard an NHL owner talk? And you and I read for this stuff. They've not said a word. Not a word. I think they're done. I think the NBA might be done too, but they don't want to be.
Well, the other thing is the NBA has a lot more TV money, and the NHL is a lot more dependent on the gate, and so it really doesn't benefit the NHL to play with no fans, where the NBA could be fine. Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for listening. Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
We are Fox Sports!
You own a home with a tile or shingle roof? You live between Port Charlotte and Marco Island? Hello, I'm Jimmy Williamson with Williamson Brothers Roofing. If you answered yes to either question, it's very likely your roof suffered damage from Hurricane Irma. It's not visible from the
Is there any
ground.
way, Mark?
You may very well be entitled to a new roof for little or no money out of pocket. But you only have a 3-year window to make a claim, and time is running out. If you have a tile or shingle
Mark?
roof and live between Port Charlotte and Marco Island, call us at 239-283-2013. It's a free, no-obligation inspection that can benefit you in the form of a new roof. Williamson Brothers Roofing, we deal with the insurance carrier for you. Call us at 239-283-2013.
Is there any way?
Time is running out.
The whole
Call us at
question.
239-283-2013.
The last answer. There's a misspelling. Is there any?
Okay, I'll redo it.
We have experts standing by.
No, you don't have to.
I don't have a choice.
Okay, well, then leave it.
2013.
Receiving. Over.
Alexa, play Fox Sports FM on TuneIn.
LeBron has shown his greatness. Kevin Durant's a better player.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Smart speaker.
Are we cheering for idiots? What's going on?
Sounds more like a dumb speaker, am I right?
You're an idiot. Nice job.
Get Southwest Florida sports talk delivered to your speaker.
This is easy.
Just say, Alexa,
hello.
Play Fox Sports FM on TuneIn.
Finally, something worthwhile.
I didn't think it was going to be this easy.
We are Fox Sports!
Ever purchased an online item and either it doesn't fit, has missing parts, or became damaged? Trying to save a few bucks can end up costing more. My Shower Door is a locally owned and operated family business that measures, manufactures, and installs our own brand of frameless shower doors right here in Southwest Florida. And we were just named Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. With almost 80,000 shower doors installed, we have the experience and expertise. Plus, estimates are always free. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
Hoops in the hallways, battling in the break room, and target practice in the urinals.
April
WFSX
decline.
from the Rock to downtown Fort Myers.
We are Fox Sports!
Here's what's trending now. Brought to you by the Center for Men's Health, C4MH.com. There's only one way to wake up in the morning.
How the heck are you?
Yep, that's it. Miller.
Do you know you can clean your own car?
And Moulton.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. The things we're going to learn.
Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
All guests appear on the Goldberg Noon Abraham hotline. Goldberg-law.com.
Yes! Oh, I like it!
It's up to you now. It's up to you.
I like it!
Now, the best local sports show this town has ever heard. Here's Miller and Moulton.
You're live. Couple minutes past 7. Hour number 2 of Miller and Moulton. On this Thursday, the calendar says April 2nd, as Mark so eloquently states on our Twitch channel, in which it has the date of every show on it, March 33rd, in parenthesis, April declined. Hope you're all doing well and hanging in there. 3 weeks since the sports world and much of the United States shut down as we normally know it. Miller and Moulton, thanks for being with us. Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio, foxsportsfm.com. All guests, including Andrew Marchant, near the bottom of the hour, joining us on the Goldberg Noon Abraham Law Firm hotline, goldberg-law.com. Chime in. Call or text into the show on the Williamson Brothers Marine and Roofing text and talk line. The new number's 479-5551. 479-5551 to chime in to the show. The big sports news in the last 18-plus hours. Wimbledon canceled. The British Open or Open Championship about to be canceled. It will happen, we're told, later today. These two things have not happened since, well, the kingdom was still fighting off the Nazis in 1945. That's what's going on in the world right now. 479-5551 is our number. Yesterday's poll question, Mark, which got a good turnout, got good results, but it was, which coronavirus phrase are we pretty much done with? You know, we said, hey, new normal, social distancing, fluid situation. Social distancing won, but it didn't get the majority of votes.
No, and a lot of people did. You know, wash your hands was one that came late that we missed. Dave Dorsey from the News Press gave me a couple later on, and I felt badly that we missed out because I liked the question. We missed a couple answers, but yes, social distancing. You know, went for a little golf cart ride, the cart I'm going to give your wife for a couple of days for her birthday.
Right.
And I laughed because we did it last night after the bath for the daughter. You know, just kind of, she wanted to go do something else. Like, oh, let's go just take a ride around the neighborhood. And there's at least 2 houses every time we do this that have 6-7 chairs in the driveway, all spaced out 6-7 feet, and everybody's got a drink.
Might as well.
Can't go anywhere. Yeah, I talked to my next door neighbor. He's a good guy. He's an ex-Marine. He's a tough son of a gun, and he's like, you know, he works out hard. He's an older guy. But he goes, you know, he takes his dog to the dog park every morning. He goes, we go out to dinner a couple, 3 times a week. It's what we like to do. Going stir crazy, man. I said, I got you.
Sure.
I got you.
And when you put that leash on the dog for the 3rd time during the day and the dog looks at you and goes, hey, enough already. Okay? Figure it out on your own. Don't take me with you, okay?
These dogs right now are the most... Dogs are in the best shape they have ever been in since we've had dogs.
They are getting in shape, baby. Okay, all these lose weight ads for people, and the dogs are like, yeah, why don't you put yourself through what you're putting me through here? Okay? Man, oh, man.
I think I know every dog in my neighborhood now.
On a first-name basis.
And yet, here's the funny thing. I don't know anybody. I do not know one more person in my neighborhood than I did before. I've said hi. Everybody's waving. Everybody's really friendly. Yep. But there's, first off, because of the social distancing, do you really want to stop and talk to someone? Not really. The other thing is that I will say this, Bill Maher's last show brought this up, and he did a little piece at the end of because of this, what things may just go away. And of course it was a bit, because he started out with, do we really need to shake hands? And I got kind of pissed. Like, what do you mean? Do we really? Yes, we need to shake hands. Yes. When I meet someone, I shake their hand. But do we really need to? Is the world going to be any worse if we didn't shake hands when we met?
Oh. Well, once again, it's like the most valuable player versus the most outstanding player. Do we need to? Need? Probably not. Do we want to? Yes. Do we like it? Yes. Many of us do.
I mean,
especially men.
This could be a big break for you, David, because we could just go back to shaking hands or a fist bump, and the whole bro hug could walk out the window. This could end the bro hug, and that would be great for you, because there is nobody worse at the bro hug than one David Moulton.
I used to be. I must admit.
Are you better?
2019, I found my bro hug groove. All right, I did.
Who with?
Okay, well, the problem is, if you're spending a lot of time around Aikman,
right?
All right, he's like a beetle. There's so many people that come to visit him. I mean, it's a competition, Vern or Aikman, as to who has more people visit the booth.
All right,
and
question.
I still think it's Vern.
I think it would be Vern coast to coast, but I think there are pockets where Troy would just kill him.
Well, correct, because there are certain NFL cities where all they do is yell at him. All right, but it just certain people come to the booth and then they're cooler, if you know what I mean. Actors.
Yeah. Did you have who'd you have up there in California? Was it
Rob Lowe?
Rob Lowe
was in the booth, right?
You had young blood in the booth, for crying out loud.
I did. Didn't ask him about Cynthia Gibbs. Okay, I will maybe next time. It's
a top-notch hiney right there.
Okay, take it easy there, big fella.
That is a top-notch hiney.
All right.
Go back and watch the movie and tell me I'm wrong.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong at all.
It's four of the best seconds in cinematic history.
You've said it 131 times. I have not disagreed any of the 131 times. 479-5551, though. That's how I change subjects. 479-5551 is the Williamson Brothers Marine and Roofing text and talk line. But see, when you're hanging, all right, he's a bro hug guy. And
yeah.
So you just, that was, and I even discussed it with him a little bit. I said, I got to admit, this is a weak part of my game here. We all have strengths, we all have weaknesses. I'm not a good bro hug guy. Okay.
So did he pull you in and have to show you how?
He basically said, well, you're not going to practice on me. All right? So, so throughout the course of the year, all right, a lot of the crew, though, all right, they're bro hug guys. So that's really where I started practicing. Started practicing on the crew, then, I don't want to say perfected it, but just fine-tuned it a little bit.
I don't think it's not perfected, David. Come on now. You're never going to perfect it. You just have to be able to
pass-fail here. That's all. I just want to go from a failing grade to a passing grade. My mother has saved some old report cards. You remember the old S and U, satisfactory, unsatisfactory? Okay, I'm just trying to be an S.
Right there in that box, I can grab a couple of them and read the
just trying to be an S. I was always a U, okay, talks too much, can't bro hug. Those were the two big, faults I had in life. Now I'm just trying to be satisfactory, has learned the bro hug, still talks too much. That's all.
Had a few U's in citizenship as well, David. I'm well aware of where you're going with that one. But you're right, David. You're not going to perfect it. But to me, it's kind of like that 200-yard, 210-yard drop kick, little baby hook drive you hit. It's in the middle of the fairway. You didn't crank it, but you're fine where you are. You're not, you know what? You can still get home. You're hitting a 5-iron, not an 8-iron, but it's okay.
Right. You've got to have a club in the bag in which, listen, if I hit this off the tee, the worst I make is bogey. Right. This is it. Right. That's all I'm looking to do. I'm looking to just, keep the big number off the scoreboard with my bro hugging. 479-5551. Two is a bro hug guy. He's a big bro hug guy. And did you see what he did yesterday? People are thinking that maybe certain teams are more enamored with Herbert and bringing up the whole, he's not healthy and the surgery and this, that, and the other thing. And Tua publicly yesterday said, yeah, I could play a game right now. I'm ready to go. All right, forget this, can I play in 2020? I can play a game right now. I'm ready. Let's do this, basically, is what he said. Trying to dispel the whole, hey, he's damaged goods, injury concerns, he's not healthy. It's like, no, if you want me, let's go. I come into camp, be the guy. I can play right away. I can play today, in fact. That's his story, and he's sticking to it.
Boy, I'd like a little 7-on-7 game before the draft if we could arrange that.
He did say he has visited with some teams. He would not disclose the teams he has visited with. We know he was scheduled to visit with the Dolphins the day after the NFL said, okay, the visits are done. No more traveling around, this, that, and the other thing. We're all staying home. The next day, he was scheduled to be in Miami.
Yesterday, we got a text because Burrow you made the point that Burrow has been liking things Miami has said, and he has been cryptic would be the easiest way to describe how Joe Burrow has acted for the past few months.
Right.
Because
he's paying attention to the Dolphins.
Because he's liked the Dolphin stuff, but he said, I'm going to play for whoever drafts me. He has, I think, played this very well. I think he has gotten a little grief for how well he's played it. In the modern era, in the YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter world, I think he's played this damn near perfectly. Unless he really wanted to play for the Bengals, and then he just jumps up and down and says, draft me, I'm coming home. But I don't think he does. And I don't think anybody can blame. Not that I would ever have been good enough to get drafted, but everybody knows that I have no affinity towards the Detroit Lions because they've sucked my entire life. Well, if a kid from Michigan was going to be the first overall pick and said, I really don't think I want to play for the Detroit Lions, who could argue with him? And I know a lot of Bengals fans who sit there and are really ticked off if they don't draft Joe Burrow, but can completely understand why Joe Burrow wouldn't want to play for them.
And he has not said that,
no,
as you mentioned.
But everybody understands why. If he did say it, they would understand it.
I mean, listen, Eli and the Manning family did not want him playing for the Chargers organization, period. Now, Archie took all the bullets. Okay, but obviously Eli was on board. Archie was trying to protect his son and not have him go through, because Archie vividly remembers what John Elway went through 21 years earlier when his father, Jack, and agent Marvin Demoff, they were like, yeah, we're not playing for the Colts.
Hey.
This is not a good organization.
Archie's the son of New Orleans because of the Saints, but do you think he really enjoyed his time there when they stunk his entire career and he wasted a great NFL career playing for a lousy NFL franchise?
I mean, his one-loss record is something like 33-74. I mean, that's how bad the teams were that he played on. And yet a lot of people talk about what a really good quarterback he was. So imagine what was around him for the majority of his career. And then he ended his career, I think, with Minnesota and maybe a cup of coffee with Houston, and neither one of those franchises were good the years that he went to them also. But now the Elways were proven right 6 months later. The Baltimore Colts were no more. The Mayflower Vans, the whole deal. And don't you think that, and that helped John Elway. There were a lot of people in the league who looked at him like, who the hell are you? And then 6 months later, when the Mayflower Vans are showing up in Indianapolis, that took a lot of heat off the Elways. It's kind of like, oh, well, okay, maybe there was a little something to what you guys were thinking. You're not the punk kid that we necessarily thought you were.
And Eli dodged some of the heat because of his father. And now looking back, hey, Philip never got a ring.
Now, I don't know if you can fault the Spanoses in that you could say that during his career that they were a badly run organization.
No, actually, they seemed to be run pretty well.
But, yeah, they never got to the big game, never mind won it. And obviously, Eli got there twice and won it twice.
But they were known as cheap before.
Yes.
And they had to change a little bit of their mentality because of what Eli did.
Well, and they still were cheap. I mean, they had contract disputes with LT during his prime. It's difficult for me to refer to him as LT, obviously, as a Giants fan. To me, it's kind of like the University of South Carolina calling themselves USC.
That's not as bad. Years and years and years ago, I dated a girl for a few months, and we first met. And, talk about, where'd you go to college? Where'd you go to college? ASU. Oh, you went to Arizona State? She looked at me, Appalachian State. I'm like, honey, that ain't ASU. I don't know what to tell you. That's App State. ASU is Arizona State. USC
right.
is Southern Cal. I just don't know what to tell you.
So, I mean, LaDainian Tomlinson is a Hall of Famer. All right, a great player.
Yeah, but he ain't LT.
Yeah, exactly.
He's LaDainian. I can go with, just the first name there.
Please. My mother's an old Steelers fan. All right. I mean, she's offended that Tom Brady goes by TB12. She's like, no. To me, TB12 is Terry Bradshaw. I'm like, yeah, but he didn't, trademark it and market it and that whole deal. And, and besides, Terry did okay, just marketing himself as Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, he's never been TB, and he's been Terry Bradshaw.
No, right. So, no, that's
or Bradshaw and Staubach. I mean, it's either Terry Bradshaw or I mentioned Bradshaw with Staubach. That's my mentality of that guy.
But so Tua trying to play the PR game, and if you think about it, Mark, now obviously they can Skype and all that sort of deal, but it's different this time around. If you couldn't work out at the combine, if you have an injury concern, if you have a character issue, this could affect you this draft. It could affect you a lot more than past drafts. I mean, if teams can't visit with players, if teams can't give physicals to players, don't you think they play it more safely this time? That we are going to have 2 or 3 guys who are going to fall, and we're going to hear stories 2 to 3 years from now in which you go, well, if it had been a normal offseason, this guy never would have fallen out of the first round, or he never would have fallen to the end of the first round.
Isn't it going to be more the other way, though? I mean, I just think there's a better chance that guys that may have some questionable things about them may get drafted higher this time than normal because there isn't as much investigation.
Yeah, see, and I think that the teams have been doing, it's not like they start this draft process in February.
No, I know. But see, to me, the injury will be the one that slides guys, that not being able to do the second physical more than the off-field, I guess, would be.
So you're with Pat, in which, Pat as he said, hey, teams spend millions of dollars over the years on private investigators, and they can find out things about you. And now, essentially, your private investigator time's been cut by 2 months. In March and April, you're unable to investigate these.
And it's the first time that these kids have been, but it's the first time these young men have been really out of programs, if you know what I mean. They're not with a team. They're not in regimented workouts the way they have been throughout their college career.
I think it's going to hurt the small college guy a lot in this draft. I really do. Because you're thinking about the off-the-reservation player who has a chance, less of an opportunity during March and April, obviously, to just be noticed more. I think whether it's a pro day, whether it's individual workouts, I think it's going to hurt small college guy, non-Power 5 guy more than it would in a normal year. But even though the calls, and now they're coming from the media, and Adam Schefter yesterday taking the NFL to task, saying, what are we doing a draft in 3 weeks? 3 weeks from tonight, the draft is still on. Wimbledon was canceled yesterday. Expected announcement later today from the RNA that the British Open in 2020 will also be canceled. Yet, with WrestleMania scheduled for this weekend, UFC 249 scheduled for a little over 2 weekends, 3 weekends from now, the third weekend in April, and the draft is still on as of 3 weeks from today. Miller and Moulton. Andrew Marchand covers the media for the New York Post. He's been breaking more stories in the last 6 months than anybody else who covers and writes about the national media. Andrew Marchand will join us on the other side. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us. Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Joe Burrow is inheriting the cheapest owner. They don't have a GM, and Zach Taylor could be good, no idea. You don't think that's going to matter? In a brutally good division with two of the best ownership groups in the NFL, Baltimore and the Rooney family. Again, we know this to be true. Where you land matters.
Colin Cowherd. Weekdays at noon on Southwest Florida's Fox Sports Radio and FoxSportsFM.com.
Gulf Shore Business wants you to vote for the best in Southwest Florida. Go online to GulfShoreBusiness.com to see the ballot highlighting locally owned and operated businesses. Vote for the best in these categories: business, finance, and insurance, legal, marketing, commercial, building and real estate, business services, and dining and drinks. We all have our favorites. Don't miss your chance to support yours. Voting ends at midnight on April 15th. It's the best in business, presented by GulfShoreBusiness.com. That's GulfShoreBusiness.com.
No matter where you're voting, with Towboat US, you're covered by the world's largest towing fleet with over 300